Now, let's take a look at what if I'm going to now use these images in a blog. Well, let's go take a look at that. Let's take a look at Joe's Geek Fest, and let's use Gilded as an example. So we search on Gilded, see the lovely banner there? Now, here's the post. Let's look at something that's, as you go down, notice that the size of the pictures are pretty uniform until it gets down to Greta Jung, who is the fabulous narrator on the audio book version of Gilded. But other than that, they're very uniform. Do images typically come all in the same size? No. So what did I do to get that to happen? Did I go in and have to get all my images updated in the same pixel length? No. What I was able to do with my particular site, which uses one of the themes from WordPress, is you can go in and edit the image and you can set a custom size. So they have default sizes based on how big the initial image is, but the other thing that you can do is set this custom size, and say I wanted them all at 400 width. I could have come in here and done that, and it keeps it at the same aspect ratio. In my case, I wanted everything to be a 500 pixel width and then whatever height that came to. And so I'm able to actually dictate what the image size is, as long as the image size that I used in the beginning was bigger, than the one I'm setting it down to. So that's an example of how you can use some images in your blog. And obviously on lots of sites like Facebook, Twitter, other social media sites, your profile picture has to be at a maximum of so many pixels. This is perfect to handle that kind of situation. This is a great case of using all the tools together to really get a fairly good set of images for what you want to do on your site. Clearly, this is not a site that's really focused on images. It's actually focused typically on book reviews and on some other things. And so the words are the focus, but this really allows me to be able to present some images to break that up and to get some visual interest. Now, one of the things I mentioned earlier is you really want to get permission for your sites. Let me go back to another set of posts that I use. So if I were to go look at Fault in Our Stars, is a good example of where I've done this. So John Green's brilliant book, and good movie too. So there's the movie part, and here's the book part. So let's take a look at that one. One of the things that I do, obviously I've got the standard cover of the book, but this is not standard. So this actually it came up in my search when I did a Bing search, just so you can kind of see that. It probably will come up in Google as well, but you do images, and typically you'll see the book. But one of the things that's cool about John Green's book, and John Green in general, is he's got some very dedicated fans of his vlog series and of his books. And so you see a lot of cool fan art. There's a ton of it out there. And here's an example of that fan art. So one of the nice things is not only can you see, size, and this is gives you a good sense of when they're in Amsterdam, but I can go right to the site and find out where this is and see what's going on. This actually was used in another blog, so that didn't get me to the source. And that's sometimes a little bit hard to track down. I was able to track it down in this particular case, and it turns out that it was on DeviantArt by Charlotte E. And I was able to go to DeviantArt, post a request to use the site in the comments. Use the picture in the comments. And she was delighted to actually see it get some publication and some views. So she was happy to share that. But one of the things I do, of course, is actually in the text, I'm going to credit her. And if you were to go to click on this one, so let's go to view the post itself, as opposed to the edit of it. This is some more fan art that I was able to use. You click on it, and it goes to the DeviantArt site that she has. So it's a great way for other folks to get a little bit more visibility to some of their art, as long as they're willing to have it shown. and it's a great set of art that we can use in our blogs and or on other things that we're trying to create. Always get permission from the folks that develop this stuff. You know, they put some effort and time into that, and we ought to recognize that. One of the things that's cool about when I set up the images in WordPress is that not only can I set the pixel size, and in this case it was important for me to have this be wide, so I did not in fact set it to a particular size, but I'm able to give it a custom URL and tie it to it. Now in this particular case, I didn't actually even capture or download the image directly to and upload it to WordPress. I actually only referenced the site. Now there is some limitations if you do that. If you only reference it and not actually copy it, you are not able to dictate what pixel size you're going to use. And in this case, I wanted it to be wide anyway. But this allowed me to directly pull in and link to the image and not have it on my site at all. So that's another nice feature about WordPress, is it has that. It allows you to handle the captioning that you use. It allows you to handle any titling that you're going to use. Just a lot of options, and then there's some more advanced options as well. So WordPress is really great about that as well. Hopefully I've given you some ideas of easy, straightforward ways to capture images, especially in that tricky spot where images have to be a certain pixel length, by using search engines. Bing is my preference, but you can do the fairly similar things with Google, using TechSmith's Snagit tool to capture images on screen, and or its editor that comes with the tool that allows you to then edit that. And finally, some way to post that information so people can see it. I happen to use Automatic's WordPress and love it. Actually, I've used other blogging sites, and this is definitely my favorite. Certainly other ones are available, but I showed you some of the nice features that are available in WordPress. Now, not every theme that's available in WordPress requires or uses a banner. Not everyone requires a certain size, and certainly not 960 by 260. Mine happens to. There will be certain situations where you want to grab certain sizes, and these tools really help you do that.